Good evening and welcome on into the evening edition of From Day One. The said still in court and it was just his turn now to give his evidence. Again with our good friends from Law Talk with Mike. Let's resume.
What is your pleasure with regard to how you wish to proceed next? You want to call a witness or offer some documents or call yourself as a witness?
The first thing I'd like to do is ask who gets my bill. Who gets the bill for renting my son?
So that is neither of the options that you have. That doesn't fall into any of those categories.
Yeah. Apparently the attorney's going to get a bill for renting his son. Okay.
So you can do a couple of things, right? You can call a witness. Do you have any other witnesses you wish to call?
I don't, but...
Hold on. That's option
absolutely.
One. Option two is that you might introduce some documents, very much like the process we just went through with Mr. Powers' 2 documents. Do you today have any documents you wish to offer into evidence today?
I do, ma'am, and I put them in evidence. I uploaded them into the...
Okay, well, tell me the number of the exhibit that you want to offer, and then we'll take a look at them, and then we'll see if there's any objection to them, and we'll proceed from there. And so what number exhibit did you upload that you want me to consider as evidence? And do you wish to testify about those documents, by the way?
Yes, ma'am. Because I put
let me go ahead and swear you in. If you'll raise your right hand, I'll swear you in.
Oh, here we go.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm under the penalty of perjury that the testimony you will give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
No,
Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gwynn, if you could just state your name for the record, please.
We're on
Jonathan Daniel Gwynn.
All right, Mr. Gwynn, tell me the exhibit numbers that you wish to offer, and if you could just briefly describe what those exhibits are. We'll go through those one at a time, please.
So, Your Honor, the first one is a filed and recorded promissory note. I'm not sure.
What's the exhibit number?
Ma'am, I do not know the exhibit number. I'd have to get off my...
Okay, I'm assuming that's a yes. Okay.
And,
well, you said you uploaded them. Did you upload in some sort of order?
I uploaded... So I have 3 documents that I want to submit. The first one is a promissory note. That's the last one that I submitted.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Since there are only 3 of them, it won't be that complicated, and we can renumber them for you if we need to. Let's call the promissory note respondent's exhibit number 1. Okay?
Good.
Okay.
And that'll be the promissory note. What is respondent's exhibit number 2? What's the second document?
It's a contempt of hearing notice.
Respondent's exhibit number 2 is a contempt
of hearing
notice, okay? And what's your third document?
And what's your third stupidity?
1 second, Your Honor.
Come on, affidavit of truth. Make it an affidavit of truth.
In that there's an allonge to the promissory note, but the other one is my Turner and Rogers request.
I don't know what you mean by Turner and Rogers request. So tell me.
An affidavit for.
Hold on.
Please say it's an affidavit for truth.
We're going to call that respondent's exhibit number 3. Is there what we might call a title of the document, something at the top that we could refer to? And if so, what is that?
Affidavit in support of sua sponte motion pursuant to court.
Okay.
Oh my!
I'm sorry, Mr.
Affidavit in support of a sua sponte motion.
Oh, Mikey,
I don't want
Mikey.
to drag this to the ground.
Yes, you do.
I can't tell you how stupid that is.
Come on.
It's new level stupid.
Yeah,
sua sponte means the judge does it themselves without anybody doing anything. So you don't move or have an affidavit or anything. By definition, it means the judge is acting without any outside stimulus.
So to have a motion to do that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I'll just leave it there.
That's like saying a motion for rain to come out of the air.
You said affidavit in support of sua sponte motion pursuant to, and then I didn't hear what you said.
CFR 303.6. And then on my promissory note of...
Wait, hang on. Are there other documents other than those 3?
No, yes, ma'am, because on my promissory note...
Hold on.
Is there another document that we could mark as respondent's exhibit number 4? And if so, what is the title of that document? If what you're telling me is that exhibit number 1 contains a lot of other things with it. That's all part of exhibit number 1 and will be considered all together. I'm asking, you told me you had 3 documents. We've marked those 1, 2, and 3. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a 4th one, or if you now want to stop talking about other documents and just tell me about the 3 that I'm trying to understand.
Okay, so on the promissory note, there's an allonge to the promissory note, Your Honor.
Is it part of what you uploaded into the box?
It is.
Exhibit number 1 with the promissory note?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to consider all of that number 1.
Yep,
I'm going to
that's one.
consider the contempt hearing notice number 2, and I'm going to consider the affidavit in support of the sua sponte motion. I'm going to consider that number 3.
I'm going to consider you being stupid, number 3.
All right, so, Mr. Powers, any objections to respondents' exhibits 1, 2, or 3?
I wasn't, Your Honor. I also would like to submit tax forms 8300, tax forms.
Wait. I need to have exhibit numbers attached to these documents. So I need you to tell me the exhibit number, which we can make that 4, but I didn't go in order. You told me you only had 3, and that's why I stopped.
Sorry,
it's okay. What's number 4?
Tax form number 4 is my that was I already gave you number 4.
No, just tell me what the document is that you want marked as exhibit number 4. I do not have a number 4 yet.
8300 tax form.
Tax form 8300. Is that what it is? That we'll call respondents exhibit number 4.
Respondents stupidity number 4.
Number 5 is 4506A tax form, and number 6 is a W4, and number 7 is a 1099, and the number 8 is a 14309 tax form.
How many of these are you going to do, Mike?
9 is a 3949A, and I'm already giving my allonge. And then a 1309.
Wait. Number 9 is
pretending to take this shit seriously.
3949A tax form.
Okay, and what's number 10?
13909 tax form.
Okay.
And then a 211.
Is that number 11?
11. And then the 12 is...
Wait. What is 211? What is that?
Tax form, 211.
Okay.
And
all right.
The tax form, and the tax form 911.
Is that number 12?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yeah, without getting into further detail, there were drugs involved that people were giving ended up being glue. Like, I smoked some glue and stuff. I thought I was smoking crack.
Mikey.
And I need a copy of their W7.
No. These right now is just your introduction of documents that you want considered in evidence, not request for other people.
W7 exists. Do you have an account?
Do you have any other exhibits you wish to offer?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to offer their forms W7, W8, W9, and FR2046.
I don't know what you mean when you say you want to offer their forms. Have you uploaded documents into the box folder as required by our rules? Documents that you want to offer in your box folder. Do you have those available today?
Yes, I do.
All right. What is the number? Next number would be 13. What is number 13 that you want to offer?
I would like to offer W7. 14 is a W8. 15 is a W9. 16 is a F as in Frank R2046.
Okay. Any other documents you want to offer today?
Please.
No, ma'am. That'll do it.
All right. Those are 16 documents. I might need a little more information about some of them. Tell me about the tax form 8300, which is marked as exhibit number that document, and why is it relevant to this proceeding?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I wasn't done. I had one more, and it's called a 56F. I'm so sorry to do that to you.
No problem. 56F will be number 17. What is a tax form 8300?
That's number 17.
And why is it relevant to these proceedings?
It's not, and he's stupid, Your Honor.
FinCEN, and I have to report the money. It's a FinCEN. I have to report the money.
What does it have to do with whether or not you are in compliance with your child support obligation?
Because I have to be in compliance with the IRS, Your Honor. We all do.
Okay, all right. And is that the kind of the same nature of the impact of these documents? Like,
and for those wondering, FinCEN basically, especially came in the casino industry. Basically, if you try to circumvent $10,000 of cash transactions in a 24-hour period, it's supposed to report so that way the government can know where the physical cash is going. Is this guy's using it? No, he is fucking nuts. Alright, back to the case.
like say, for example, the numbers 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 that you also said were tax forms. Are those related in some way to some obligation you have to the IRS?
Yes, Your Honor, and it's also identity theft for my Social Security number.
All right. Sorry, hang on. You answered my question when you said yes. Number 6, Respondent's Exhibit number 6, which is a W-4. Whose W-4 is that? Yours? I couldn't hear you.
There's, Your Honor.
W-4, Exhibit number 6, the W-4 form, that's... whose name is on the W-4?
Powers.
Okay. All right. I think I have a sense. Okay. Thank you. That's really helpful. Oh, another question about your Exhibit number 2. What hearing notice, contempt hearing notice is that? For what hearing?
That's all right.
That is for Turner Rogers. Well, no, that is I'm sorry. Let me get that. Let me pull that up.
You told me that number 1 was a promissory note. You told me number 2 was a contempt hearing notice. I want to know what hearing is related to that notice. Exhibit number 2.
Yeah,
okay, so that is a judicial notice of Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1 of the United States Constitution, which states...
Wait, hang on. Stop. I'm asking if there is... You said it was a hearing notice. I'm simply asking what hearing date is mentioned in that notice and in what court? That's my question.
I've requested a hearing for it, Your Honor, but it's to because no state shall make anything but gold or silver coin a tender in payment of debts or law impairing the obligation of contracts. This state prosecutors...
Mr. Gwen, stop.
Stop, moron.
Is the hearing notice that you marked as Exhibit number 2 filed in this cause number in Travis County, Texas?
It is filed now for the 3rd time. I filed it.
My question is it a hearing notice in which there is a hearing scheduled in this cause number in Travis County, Texas? Does the notice tell you or Ms. Oren to be present at a hearing in Travis County, yes or no?
Absolutely, Your Honor. It's been stamped. And
all right, very good. And if it tells somebody to be at a court hearing in Travis County, can you tell me the date of that?
It was never set, Your Honor. And I put it in court now over 6 months ago.
All right. Okay.
And I have.
That's helpful. Stop. That's helpful. I'm just trying to get a sense of what hearing date it's a reference to. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I didn't have my thinking cap on, for one. For two, this was sent to me, I didn't know. I had a bunch of stuff going on, so I didn't watch it. I'm sorry I was laughing that much, but a bunch of this I didn't see. And it just, I mean, I'm used to a lot, but the stupidity just
it's just
it was
stupidity?
It surprised me.
New levels of
dumb. All right,
dumb.
Mr. Powers, your opportunity now to tell me if you have any objection to any of the exhibits that have been offered. Let's start with the first 3.
Can I go with all 19, Your Honor?
Your Honor, one more thing is all this is for the Foreign Agency Registration Act is what these documents are for.
Thank you, Mr. Gwynn.
Shut up,
now
Mr.
Mr.
Gwynn.
Powers' opportunity to answer my question.
Thank you.
Any objection to exhibit number 1?
Yes, ma'am. Relevance.
What objection do you have to 2?
Relevance.
It's really not fair. You've got an attorney with a clue saying reasonable things.
And to 3?
Relevance. I can give you basically.
I'm breaking them down in kind of by sort of category. So
yes,
those are a little bit different from the tax form. So let's now move to the tax forms, which, as I understand it, relate to the offer of Exhibits 4 through 17. What objection?
Relevance.
Exhibits 4 through 17 on the basis of relevance.
Okay. All right. Mr. Gwynn, the relevance objection suggests that none of these documents are related to the matter before the court today. I'll give you very briefly an opportunity to why they might be relevant to whether or not the suspension of commitment should be given effect today. Documents have to do with this case.
My IRS agent would like to keep all of us in compliance, and I need all those documents. Anything that I spend, put out.
What did he just say? My IRS agent would like that. Who cares? First of all, you don't have an IRS agent. I mean, that's just wrong.
On many levels. On many.
Second of all, I don't care.
Many levels.
It's not relevant.
Or in billed for, I need to have for my IRS agent.
Okay. All right. Very good. That's very helpful. The objections are sustained to 1 through 6.
Thank you.
It's very helpful that it confirms the irrelevancy of this. I was 99% this was irrelevant, but after you opened your mouth, it ticked over to 100. Thank you. Thank you for playing.
Yep.
17, but please know, Mr. Gwynn, that for purposes of the appellate record, all exhibits that are offered, whether admitted or not, will become part of the case record and available for the appellate court review. So we'll continue to keep them in our records.
And if this ever goes before an appellate court, I'm sure you will peruse those documents and say, yep, they're irrelevant.
Just not be considered for purposes of hearing today. Now, Mr. Gwynn, your opportunity next is for you to offer some additional testimony. And because you're representing yourself, it would be silly to ask you to ask yourself a question and then answer it. So I will let you testify in what we call the narrative form. However, if you hear me interrupt you, or if you hear Mr. Powers interrupt by saying the word objection, then I need you to stop your testimony until I've had a chance to deal with the objection that he raises, or if I need to interrupt you for various reasons, I will let you know. But so now, though, it's your opportunity to tell me whatever evidence you want to offer by way of testimony with regard to just the matter before the court, which is whether or not your suspension of the jail order that Judge Banger entered should be given effect or not, and should I send you to jail or not, and whether or not I should suspend that order further by ordering that you can stay out of jail by paying some amount of money.
Unlimited.
Some amount you pick, or some amount that, if you wish to react to the number that Mr. Powers gave, you can do that as well. I'm ready now for your testimony just on those relevant matters pertaining to the hearing today and none other.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, first off, I object to representing myself as a person. I'm actually representing the corporate Jonathan Daniel Gwynn name is who I'm representing. Not me as a person. I'm representing the all caps name.
You cannot represent it. Oh, sweet Jesus! Because corporations by Texas law must be represented by licensed attorneys. You've told me you're not a licensed attorney, so you're not allowed to represent anybody other than yourself, and you certainly may not be allowed to represent a corporate entity. We'll move on.
I do not represent myself, Your Honor. I do not represent.
Well, let's move on. I understand. Let's move on. What else?
He represents himself, but he objects to representing himself. I'm just saying.
Yes.
If you're at home, I had the thinking cap on, so I can translate this for you.
He objects to being himself.
I'm asking you to provide whatever additional testimony you wish to provide at this time.
Your Honor, I would like to know if you're standing on your oath today.
Oh, fuck.
I'd like to know if you have any additional testimony.
I'd like to know if you're not an idiot.
It's your opportunity to give testimony. It is not your opportunity to ask questions. This is your opportunity to tell me your side of the story, and I want to hear it. So tell me your side of the story.
I just want to know if you're standing on your oath today, Your Honor. That's all.
I am not going to respond to questions because it would be inappropriate for me to do so in that way, at least to that question. I want to know if you have any additional testimony. If you do, I want to hear it. If you don't, we will move on.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I do have other questions, but I just need to know if you're standing on your oath today. That's all I'm asking.
Mr. Gwynn, you will pass yourself as a witness unless in the next 30 seconds you provide testimony. If you do not provide testimony in the next 30 seconds, I will consider that you have no testimony on this matter to offer. So your choice, sir. Provide testimony since you're now on the witness stand, or stand down from the witness stand. Your choice. You have testimony to provide, or you don't. If you do, you need to give it to me now.
Okay, Your Honor, I just asked the question. I accept that you're not standing on your oath today, I guess. I don't know what to say, because I just wanted to know.
All right, Mr. Powers, do you have any questions for Mr. Gwynn? Because he has passed himself as a witness by virtue of the fact that he has violated my direct order to provide testimony since he's been sworn in and is now providing testimony as a witness. You may ask him any questions if you like.
And that's how it's done.
Do it, Ray, Your Honor.
All right. That will conclude the evidence portion of our proceeding this morning. Mr. Powers, you may make a brief closing argument.
And I do mean brief.
I believe the record is abundantly clear. Mr. Gwynn
is an idiot.
In court.
Like a moron.
Thank you, Elaine.
He agreed to the imposition of the sentence we're asking you to.
I did not agree. It's an objection.
He agreed on the record.
I did not agree.
Excuse me, Mr. Gwynn. I have noted several.
You did effing too. You agreed to have it in writing.
Oh, sorry. I hit the wrong button, guys. Give me just 1 second. I gotta get it back.
And is that the kind of the same nature of these documents, like say before is that?
Turner Rogers. No, that is I'm sorry, Your Honor. Let me get that. Let me pull that up.
You told me that number 1 was a promise.
Okay, hold on. I'm
filed now for.
I send you to jail, or not, and whether or not I should.
Almost, folks. So I hate when I hit the wrong button.
What I think is particularly appalling is that Mr. Gwynn submitted false documents that were intended to represent that payments were made when they in fact were not. This has been a very difficult case. Mr. Gwynn has historically projected gobbledygook legalistic arguments which have no merit and which are in fact dilatory, time-consuming, and costly for my client. Respond to. Accordingly, it's time that Mr. Gwynn suffer the consequences of his failure to comply with the court's order.
Pretty cool.
And we're asking that the relief we requested at the beginning of the hearing be imposed upon Mr. Gwynn at this time.
All of the monies.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Powers. Mr. Gwynn, it's now your opportunity to make your closing argument that might be relevant to the issues before the court this morning. If you wish to do so, you may do so. Let me warn you, sir, if you do not stick to the rules and make a closing argument that is relevant to the proceedings, I will interrupt you, and then I will issue my order. So please, just please make a relevant argument to the matters before the court this morning, and none other. You may proceed.
Your Honor, I do not consent to jail.
You win.
I do not consent to jail. I do not consent to jail.
Really? You do not consent?
I consent to a judge not answering about on oath. I do not consent to the judge standing not standing. I do not consent to not being in compliance with the IRS. I do not consent to not being in compliance with the IRS. I do not consent to further hearings. I do not consent to further hearings. I do not consent to the renting of my son.
I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not like them, Sam. I am.
I do not consent to the renting of my son. I do not consent to the renting of my son. I will say that again because that is my blood-born son, and they have stolen him from me, and that's unconstitutional. And I also do not consent representing myself. I do not consent to representing myself.
Okay, I agree with you. You shouldn't be representing yourself, but you're not running an attorney. It's a civil action. So cough up the dough, which you can't, because the only payment we know of from you was bounced. So there you are.
Do not consent to representing myself, Your Honor, and I have filed paperwork that is constitutional paperwork that Mr. Powers is calling
constitutional paperwork.
Okay, I'm assuming.
Up, and there is judicial stamp.
When Mr. Powers calls that gobbledygook, he's spot on.
Stamps on my paperwork over the past 12 months that I have filed over and over again, and they just get ignored and completely ignored, and they are on the record.
Ignored is generous. If it was taken seriously, it should be sanctioned.
They are on file, and they completely ignored. And I use
You used the stupidity or us?
I can't hear you, Mr.
I want a stay of court pending. I want a stay of court pending a United States tax court.
Anything else by way of closing argument?
Anything else by means of you stupid?
I want a stay of court pending the United States tax court.
You already said that.
Anything by way of a closing argument that's relevant to the issues?
He doesn't know how to be relevant.
I want a stay of court pending United States
Yes, you've
tax
said that 3 times, sir. Is there anything else?
I just do not consent to go to jail, Your Honor. I've already shown you this, and I want to say it one more time.
In jail.
That's all you need to know, Judge. I don't consent.
You know, I know you turned down my Turner hearing. I have a promissory note. Promissory note is constitutional. It's in law. Even my IRS agent said I could use it.
Who the fuck is your IRS agent?
Here over years. I haven't seen my son since he was 4 years old. I raised him daily, and Mr. Powers managed to take him away from me and caused so much hardship in my life over this. And I have been wrongfully accused of being a bad father when I'm a great father, and you can see it on my internet. You can see it on my social media how great a father I am to my current 10-year-old. And I wasn't able to father my child because this man has robbed me of that. This court has robbed me of that. And it is completely unconstitutional that I have done this. And full constitutional principles of protection that was articulated by the U.S. Supreme Court. And I incorporate by reference all orders of this courts are fully submitted pursuant to Judicial Notice Section 201. The rules require a scalpel, not a butcher knife. And this court ordinarily must apply it to each segment of an affidavit. And none of my affidavits have been responded to, not one. And I've submitted probably over 50 affidavits, and they've all been stamped by the judicial clerk. And not one has been responded to by a judge, Your Honor. Not one. And that is unlawful and unconstitutional.
Again, you're lucky because the substance of all these things is absolutely sanctionable, I'm certain, without looking at it. So the fact that they're ignoring it is doing you a favor. Of course, it doesn't matter because you can't pay sanctions and you're headed to jail anyway. But, yeah, I mean...
After all of this, I better be seeing jail time.
Them ignoring your gibberish is helpful to you, sir.
And now I'm asking a judge, Your Honor, with all due respect, and I'm here in front of a judge asking if you're standing on your oath, and I can't even get an answer there.
All right.
And I accept.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Anything else?
And I accept that. And default of this hearing.
Anything else?
Brought upon the court, by the court, Your Honor.
Okay. Anything else?
Anything else?
I can go on and on, Your Honor, but I just
don't.
want to get...
Oh, we're aware. We
Mikey,
absolutely.
what the hell?
The first thing he said today, I agree with. You can go on and on.
rid of this. And
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Gwynn.
Well, alrighty.
Normally, I would allow the movement to have the last word because he gets to rebut, but I don't think that's necessary here, Mr. Powers, because I think you've made your position clear on behalf of your client with regard to the relief you request. The relief is granted.
Yeah.
Mr. Gwynn, what I want to remind you about is a couple of things. One, when you were here the first time I met you in October, you told me that you were turning your life around and that you were going to do the right thing and pay the amount of money that you owed. And you told me that because you were in that rehab facility, that you needed time to get out of there and get some money together. And I believed you, and I gave you that opportunity.
I believe
you.
I was
you
stupid.
didn't keep your end of the bargain in that regard. You showed up later that same morning behind the wheel of a vehicle. So you may not own one, but you clearly have access to one because you were driving a vehicle on Zoom when I asked you to pull over, right?
on the property.
And excuse me, I also pointed out that you had changed your clothes. You were nicely dressed at the first part of our hearing. You were more casually dressed later in the day when you were driving. And I questioned whether or not you were really at a rehab facility. But
that is not the issue.
Excuse me, Mr. Gwynn, it's my turn. But my point there is that I believed you nonetheless. I believed that you wanted time. I believed that you needed time. I believed that you were going to do your best, having come out of that rehab facility that you were excited about being in and graduating from. And I believe that if given an opportunity, you would do the right thing and come up with the money you said you were going to come up with.
And you were wrong.
Excuse me, sir, I am not done.
I'm asking for forgiveness because
I'm asking you to just be quiet while I finish my statement.
Say a word. Oh, and go ahead and put yourself on mute now.
Mikey.
I believed you on October 6th, and I gave you a chance to do the right thing, and you didn't do it. And then on October 21st, I gave you another chance, because on that day you made me another promise, and yet you haven't kept that one either. On October 21st, you made me a promise. You said, I'm going to pay these people this $5,000, and I'm going to pay them another $20,000. Mr. Gwynn, it's not your turn. And I'm going to pay some more money later.
Oh, good Lord. You got to be kidding me, Holly.
No, we're not.
We got people in the chat who actually know Jonathan Gwynn.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's pretty cool. Honestly, that's pretty cool.
And I'm going to make good on my promise, Judge. So please postpone this hearing one more time.
I did with a promissory note.
Make a promise to you that I'm going to keep. So October 6th, you made me a promise you didn't keep. October 21st, you made me a promise you didn't keep. And now here on November 9th,
Your Honor, I paid it.
Mr. Gwynn, if you don't stop talking, I'm going to ask my staff to mute your microphone. It is not your turn. I gave you an opportunity to tell me something relevant about this hearing, and you did, and you talked, and I kept asking you if there was anything else. And then when you stopped, I started. It is now your opportunity to be as respectful to me as I have been to you. So I would beg you, please, stop talking when I'm talking. So, to summarize, I gave you a chance on October 6th. You gave me a promise you didn't keep. I gave you another chance on October 21st. You made me yet another promise which you did not keep. Not only did you not keep the promise, the funds you pledged turned out to be bogus, and they didn't clear the bank. So that's problematic from my perspective, that you've been given chance after chance, you made promise after promise, you squandered the chances, and you broke the promises. I think we're at the end of our ability to be gracious to you anymore. I think now you have to show some grace and pay your debt. And you will begin by paying, or you will go to jail. And so the order is as follows. The motion is granted. Mr. Powers will be directed to prepare an order today. I want it today so that it can be signed and given effect today and served on all the proper parties and sent to the proper authorities to be effectuated today. The order will reflect not only that the motion is granted, but that Mr. Gwynn is to be remanded to the Travis County Jail. He'll be told in that order where to report. I would imagine it would be downtown at the booking station here that is adjacent to the Travis County Courthouse. It's the Blackwell Thurman Criminal Justice Building. Mr. Gwynn, you will be, because you have COVID, because that's what you have told us. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I have no reason to doubt it. And so since you turn yourself into jail right now.
Oh, they all passed.
Jesus. What? COVID, I do not want you to report and infect others, and I want you to have an opportunity to heal and get better. And so because you have told me that you have COVID, I will require that your report date be at 10 a.m. on November 15, 2022 instead of today, because I want you to have an opportunity to get better. So you will be required to report to the Travis County Jail at 10 a.m. on November, but no later than 10 a.m. on November 15, 2022. If you have paid before that date, by the 14th, if you have paid by the 14th of November the sum of $7,500, you will not have to report. That will not end your obligation. That just means you don't have to report, and the suspended commitment will remain in effect. The wheels of justice are going to roll you right into the Wayne County Jail with the review hearings, and you will still be subject to going to jail if you don't further comply. But you will prevent having to report on the 15th if by the 14th, by close of business, that means 5 p.m. on the 14th, if you have paid the sum of $7,500. Not pledged it, not written a check that doesn't clear, but actually remitted funds that clear the bank or cash, one or the other.
Cash.
That's valid negotiable tender. And if you do that by the 14th, you don't have to report on the 15th. If you don't do that by close of business on the 14th, you must report on the 15th. Mr. Powers will circulate that order and get it to me today, and that will conclude our business this morning. Apologies to those on the docket who I told we'd only be an hour, because clearly we've gone more than that. Gentlemen, we are adjourned. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next up is,
You didn't say the cat jumped on his wiener, did you?
Mike, I forgot that one.
There you have it. Sorry.
I forgot that one.
I got a little laughier than usual, but there was some of that was fresh to me. And it was so deliciously awful through and through.
Yes, Mike.
There was a portion I didn't see. I just didn't realize that he could maintain that level of stupid for that long. It's impressive. It's an impressive feat. But he did it. I got to get out my
Fez?
Jeremy DeWitt.
You got the Fez!
More sovereign citizen Fez. And it never was it for a more appropriate occasion. I have to show this. Jeep Girl
what else you got?
And I have had it, and I've wanted to.
Oh,
look at this. This is very cool. I don't know if you can see it, but the back is neat.
Oh, they can't see it, but I got one of those too, Mike. Here, I'll hold it to you.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
Mikey.
It's very, very cool. I also got a very cool coffee mug today.
What mug did you
I was
get?
not at the office, so
okay.
I saw stuff that was in there. This has been around for a while. I want to wear that. I want to wear this, but I actually was going to wear it, and I thought, well, you can't see both sides if I have it on.
All right, Mikey. So I'll leave you there. You have fun with your folks, and I'll finish up here. So that will conclude our day here from day one. As always, please help us get to 50,000 views, 1,000 subscribers. So Boxy will send those nice red presents. Google put us on the algorithm, and we are exceedingly close to being there. Until next time, like, share, and subscribe. Be kind to one another. Release the Krakens as we march along this evening and every evening here from day one. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.